Hey everyone, it's Zerelda here, and today I'm going to talk to you about the Blade of Awe Enhancements. I'm not actually going to be talking about the blade itself all that much. I'll do a video on how to get that later. I'm just more interested in showing you the rewards and the enhancements. They had to change it a little afterwards, but it all worked out in the end. Once you've actually finished the quest, which I'll show you how to do in a later video, you come to Awe Enhancements. Now, Valencia quite nicely and kindly details what each does. Now I'm going to demonstrate these first four. I don't have time to demonstrate Power Word Die, and I'll explain that once I've actually demonstrated the others. So I'll just go through how these enhancements work. Basically, they come in intervals of 10 levels, so they're not multi-purpose enhancements, or as multi-purpose as you'd like them to be. They come in 10 levels. The top two, level 50 and 40, are member only, and except for Power Word Die, that is. Now what happens is all these are different enhancements with different special effects. Now as you can see, these are all fighter, and then you get healer enhancements here, wizard enhancements here, and etc. So what it is, it's the wizard stat build, or the wizard stats from enhancements, but with a special effect. So this has got some of the basic ones covered, so you can't really complain. Nothing fancy that you miss, or nothing that you're missing out on. So we'll just start with Spiral Carve, and it works the same way as any other enhancement. You just take what you want and you go apply now, and you enhance, and it's already applied. So now I'll just demonstrate how this works on some enemies. Spiral Carve is the first of these special enhancements, and how that works is that occasionally it, just like it did there, it will give you a strike that will do 200% damage. That's not all it does, thankfully. It also, as you can see, it actually added an effect. Now that effect is 10% extra critical for the next 10 seconds. It's just activated again there. So this is a really nice one to pair up with high critical classes such as Berserker. Just as an example, there are plenty more. So if you want extra damage output and extra chance at crits, Spiral Carve is the enhancement for you. And it happens regularly enough. It seemed to be a little unreliable when they first released it, but there you go. It seems to be working fine now. Health Vampire does a strike that does 50% extra damage, or 150% damage, so it's a little less powerful than Spiral Carve. But the real special effect here is that it heals you for the damage you do. Now it's got a special animation that happens, just like Spiral Carve did, except this one's a lot more noticeable. It's used in the Necromancer class and actually a bunch of other classes these days, so easily, there we go, easily identifiable. Now, because it heals you based on the damage you do, you sort of need to hit it, but that's okay. But you want to consider carefully which class you use it on. For example, Hawk Evader or Paladin Slayer that don't have heals. Those are really good classes to use it on, because all of a sudden you've got a heal. Not one you can fully rely on, but one that will add a bit of health back when you need it. Another interesting one to use it with would be Blood Titan, because Blood Titan's moves require sacrificing your health, and this will give you a little bit more health to sacrifice, or a little bit health that you can afford to lose in combat. Mana Vamp does the same thing that Health Vamp does, except it regen some of your MP. Now you would have seen the special move go there and there twice. It's quite a cool looking one actually. Now this is obviously great for classes that have poor mana regeneration. As you can see, this activates reasonably often. So classes like Darkblood Stormbringers, the first one that comes to mind, that have poor mana regeneration and need it desperately, well, this enhancement is the one for you. Just like the Vamp one, the Health Vamp, it does 150% damage, so it is a way of getting some health back, as well as keeping your MP high. Especially if you find yourself always in need of a little bit more MP, this is the enhancement for you. the last enhancement I'm going to be showing you tonight, Awe Blast, does 1.3% damage on its strike, and then it decreases the damage your opponent does by 15%. So we'll just wait for this effect to wear off. So Awe Blast has now faded. Funnily enough, we can't really compare because he's only doing criticals. There you go. He was hitting in the early 90s, now he's hitting in the early hundreds. Well, early to late 100. You get the idea. It does have a noticeable difference in damage output, and you do a little bit of extra damage on your strike. Now, a lot of you will have realized I haven't actually gone into detail about the most epic sounding one of the more power word die. Now, just as a bit of backstory, this is based on the move from the original Adventure Quest game, and that they actually buffed the chances of that happening a while ago, but before then it virtually never happened. In a few years I had the special activate about 3 times. Now it happens a lot more often, which is nice. Now, it does 200 times your normal damage, which is really a lot. But it's also got a 0.002% chance of occurring. Now, if that doesn't mean much to you, my friend and I did the math. For every, well, it's a 1 in 50,000 chance. So for every 50,000 auto attacks you do, one of them, statistically, will be power word die. Now, 200 times your base damage. Say your base damage is 150. That's I think 30,000. Now if that's on a critical, then that's a lot more, but you get the idea. You could one-hit some bosses with this, you could one-hit most enemies with this. If it happened in PvP, well, you've probably won your one-on-one duel. So I don't have time to do 50,000 auto attacks and record it all, because that'll chew up my memory. But you get the idea. It's a really cool idea, and it's nice that they're actually innovating and having these, and that they've properly facilitated all the different builds. So I hope this gives you more options when, you have enhancements. Personally, when I do class guides, I'm going to also suggest one of the Awe enhancements I think works best. So until then, see you later. Oh, also, I will be doing a video on how to actually get the Blade of Awe. I'm thinking the Prime Bloodletter of Nolgith could do with a video, and class guides as usual. So until then, see you later.